Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another bite-sized political podcast. Hope you enjoy these. Do make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the channel, like the content, and also, if you can, do make sure you follow my Hard Truth podcast with my friend Alana Mercer. If you can do both those things, I've got a website, Tangle Web, you should probably take a visit to if you want to find a lot more content there as well. I wanted to talk about Joe Biden. Yes, the most authentically elected president in the history of the universe has been getting a bit of bad publicity in the past couple of days. And I wanted to play you a short interview that he gave. It only lasts for about a minute or so, but then I wanted to talk about it because it's really worth paying attention to. You can either watch it or listen to it. Here we go.
When you look at what's happened over the last week, was it a failure of intelligence, planning, execution, or judgment?
Look, I don't think it was a fair. Look, it was a simple choice, George.
So there we go. First off, he gets 20 seconds into it and he won't answer the question. He won't accept that it's a failure, whilst the whole world, I think, including many Democrats, recognize that this is a failure.
When the Taliban, let me put it another way. When you had the government of Afghanistan, the leader of that government getting in a plane and taking off and going to another country, when you saw the significant collapse of the Afghan troops we had trained, up to 300,000 of them, just leaving their equipment and taking off. That was, that's what happened.
Well, thanks, Joe, for the bleeding obvious. Of course, that's what happened. But how well were these troops trained? How loyal were these troops going to be? What assessment was made regarding the possibility of this happening? Did anyone at any point question what was happening, or did things just carry along regardless?
That's simply what happened.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago,
Wrong. It wasn't. It was 3 days ago. So we got that one wrong. And the second thing is, so what? Does it matter how many days ago? Does he not understand the national humiliation it brings to the United States? Does he not understand the scope of the failure that he has presided at military and at political level? Evidently not.
5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
Well, no, you didn't. He didn't. Again, this is wrong, because the airport, whilst in the interior of the airport may be controlled by America, outside the airport, the perimeter and for miles around is controlled entirely by the Taliban and by the tribal chieftains and by those who were once upon a time in the Afghan army, but who were never, ever going to be loyal to the United States. So when he talks about control, he's also being disingenuous.
You don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No,
There you go. No. Je ne regrette rien. Joe doesn't think that this could have been done any differently in any regard. We'll come on to that in a second.
I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
And that's the problem. No one knows how you happened, Joe Biden. That's the problem. The fact of the matter is that if you talk to any coherent military strategist, there is a clear plan to exit in these scenarios. Number one, you get the women and children and civilians out. That's the first thing you do. Number two, you get your armaments out. You either get them out or you destroy them. You do not leave them for the enemy combatants to then seize them. Now we have the Taliban as one of the best equipped armies in the world, thanks to Joe Biden's decision to do it in the way that he did. So that's the second thing you do. And then the final thing you do at that point, having evacuated all civilians, having taken armaments out of the picture, then finally you extract your own military resources. But that's not what Biden did. So the notion that he thinks that he had no alternative, it's clear fantasy land. This man is not fundamentally fit to be leading the United States of America, or if he is, he's leading them over the cliff edge. He doesn't see the calamities that I think, if we're fair-minded, the majority of people around the world see. This is a catastrophic failure of leadership by Joe Biden. Look, I agree that we needed to get out of Afghanistan. I didn't. I thought that from about 2002 on, by the way. So it's not just yesterday or yesterday. I think it's right to get out of Afghanistan. But the way in which we get out, which is a point that President Trump made, has been nothing short of a calamity. That's why Biden's poll ratings have plummeted in the past couple of days, because even amongst his own core support, apart from the extreme hardcore leftists, to lots of the average Democrats, who, some of them serve in military and whatnot, they recognize this for what it is. It's a catastrophe. It's a failure of leadership. Now, we can say what we want about the Taliban, and we can say what we want about those who were in political leadership in the Afghan government. And actually, I agree with Biden. These people were cowards. I agree with Biden when he said, why should we fight and die in Afghanistan when Afghanis won't? But then, in a way, and this is something, by the way, you should tune into my podcast with Alana Mercer, which goes out later tonight, around about 6 p.m. UK time. We discussed this in much more detail. But the point about, we need to think, but what exactly, when we say we need the Afghans to fight, yeah, but maybe that's exactly what they are doing. They're fighting for what they want, not for what the West wants. But anyway, that's for tonight's podcast. But either way, the way I look upon this, Biden is in je ne regrette rien. He doesn't think anything was, he doesn't think mistakes were made. He doesn't think there was any other way to do it. He doesn't think that he has failed to lead the United States at this most crucial of times. So, and in fact, actually, I believe in a press conference he gave yesterday, his main priority was forcing state governors to get their kids in school masked up. So in a way, but maybe Joe's taking a lesson out of the Taliban book. But there we have it, folks. We have catastrophic political failure on the part of Joe Biden, and Joe Biden won't even accept that he's done anything wrong. I ask you, what do you make of this very, very strange political leader? Je ne regrette rien. I think he'll have plenty of time to regret so much, and so will America. Thanks for listening.